Hello and welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host, Kristen. I'm so glad that you joined me today. If you're joining me live, welcome. If you're joining me on replay, which is probably most of you, I'm so glad you joined me afterwards. Be sure and comment below and tell me a little bit more about yourself and where you're viewing from. We will have this live on replay on YouTube later, and of course it will stay on Facebook. This is originating on a Monday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on my Facebook page for Good Knit Kisses. That's YouTube. That's facebook.com/GoodKnitKisses YouTube. That's really long, I know. All right, so I'm so glad that you joined me today. Today is clue number 4, yay, in the stitch along, and I'm going to show you how to make it on the loom. Now, you could, of course, make it on needles. I've got that video out. It was just launched, so if you did not see that, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I had a little bit of a glitch this morning, and for some reason, it wasn't set to go out at like 1 a.m. when I originally thought I set it. So, I'm so sorry. The blog was up, but anyway, the notes for the loom knitting is on the blog as well. So we talk about the needles. Scroll down to the bottom beneath the play of the video for needles, and you will see the notes for the loom. And after we're done with this, we will put this little video in there to show you how to do the loom. So welcome and good morning. I have samples for you. I'm going to say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Angie. She's the first to comment. Hi, Robin and Heather. Hi there. Angie, oh, thank you. Love the hair. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Hey, Judy, I see you joined. Hey, Peggy and Jameson, North Carolina. Crystal, hello, and happy Thanksgiving to the Canadians out there. Hello, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And we've got our American Thanksgiving coming up next month. We're a month behind you, of course. I actually kind of wish ours was a little earlier, a little more separation between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Can I get an amen from the fellow Americans? I mean, I know I enjoy it, but you know, Thanksgiving is the holiday that I really enjoy. I enjoy it more than Halloween. I'm not really a Halloweeny person, so I'm sort of like, yeah, bring on the Thanksgiving. It needs to be earlier. I'll celebrate with the Canadians next year. Just kidding. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Millie. Hey, Eva. How are you? Hi, Carol. Happy Thanksgiving, Carol. Hey, Kayla and Gail. Hey, Lily. How are you guys? Oh, and you're from Pennsylvania, and she's a loomer. Joanne's on. She's a loomer. Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Hi, Elizabeth. Joanne's other half. Oh, man. Hey, good morning. And Gail says, I would like Thanksgiving earlier, too. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Hey, Amy in Ohio. And Rosa. Hello, April. I agree. Thanksgiving needs to be sooner, Carrie says. Yeah. Yeah. What do we do? Who do we petition? What can we do? You can hear my voice is still a little rough. I have been postponing doing some more filming on videos because it has been rough. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I really, really wanted to surprise you guys and have a live loom knitting demo on something else. I'm about to do this demo here, but there's something I really want to show you, and I've been debating, do I do it live or not, because I'll be coughing and I can't mute this video when it's live. So anyway, oh my goodness. Okay. So be sure, and we're going to give you the link here in a second, and it is going to be for the blog. That's where you want to go to get clue number 4. We've got all the notes that you need for the needles, tips and tricks. It'll have the video in there on the blog, on the website. Lots of goodies on Good Knit Kisses website, so be aware of that. And then down below the video will be all the loom knitting notes, and we've got that for weeks 1 through 4 so far. And then after this video will be back up on that page. So if you have trouble finding it, always start with Good Knit Kisses and use that search bar and just type in a simple word that you want to find, and there's lots of information on there. So we're constantly trying to improve it. Be sure and comment on the website and then we let us know, you know, what you think of the articles and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so I want to tell y'all something before I start. We are going to be having a giveaway. Yay! We're going to have a giveaway for the Bernat Blanket Stitch Along. Are you excited? So we're going to have a giveaway. I can't give you all the details just yet. We're still ironing out a couple of them. We will have it all listed on the website, and you will get enough yarn. There'll be 3 winners, and you'll get enough yarn to knit the blanket all over again and give to someone, or use it for something else. So we're going to have knitting winners. You can be loom knitter or needle knitter, whatever. And we'll be posting photos to the GoodKnitKisses Facebook page and that kind of thing. So we'll give you details later, but it's going to be it'll be enough balls for you. The question that many people will have, it's for North America. So it's just North America only. These are the rules from the supplier of the yarn, which would be Yarnspirations, Bernat. And we are going to get you those details later. So give us some hearts if you're excited about having a contest and having a giveaway for yarn. Yay! The crochet crowd is doing one for the crochet stuff, and we'll be doing the knitting one. And we want to get as many people involved as possible, right? So we're so excited, and we want to see your lovelies going on as well. Look at all those hearts coming through. Yay! Love it. Love it. Oh man. Well, I am, oh, Denise is on. She says first time she could do a video. I teach school and it's Columbus Day. Yes. My kids are home too, cause it's Columbus Day. So I'm so glad that you could join us. Oh, I'm scrolling through. Okay. I saw someone's comment. I'm like, I don't understand. I'll go back to it later. So I'm so glad you guys are joining me. Okay, so I've got my notes I've got my iPad here, and it's showing clue number 4. So I'm going to get into it. And if you haven't been joining us and you want to know, remember that we do have all those videos available on the website. So you're going to go to GoodKnitKisses and look for clues 1, 2, 3, and 4 each week. And then when we do have the contest, we will have that up on the webpage. So get ready, and we will be demonstrating. Ellie, she says, I demonstrated loom knitting yesterday and advertised GoodKnitKisses as the best place to learn. Thank you, Ellie. Well, congratulations. That's so awesome that you were getting to demo loom knitting. So way to go. Sending you some big hearts. And thank you for that little plug there. That was very kind. So that's exciting that you get to show other people. I love when people teach other people. So yay. All right. So I'm going to show you some stuff. Oh, do you want to tease for next week? This is on needles, but mittens. Actually, it's later this week on Friday. Mittens. That's all I'm saying. So, give me some hearts if you like that little plug right there. All right, cool. Excuse me. All right, here. Woo, let's juice up here. Got my coffee going. Okay. All right, let's flip this screen here. And I'm going to flip this sample so you can really see it. Okay. Yay, all the hearts for that. So exciting. Your internet's crazy? Oh no. All right, let's flip this. Okay, get my lighting. There we go. There we go. Okay, so this is a sample of what it was like on the needles. And so I just took my needle sample from the video and I popped it on the loom so you can see what it looks like. And then I made it on then I did it on the loom, and I'm going to explain why this looks a little different from this, but this is the sample that I knit on the loom, and this is the sample that is needle knit. So it is a 3-color design. You see that? So we're working with color A, and then C, and then B. So this week we're working with 3 colors. Okay, and thank you. We've got the clue up now. We've got in the comments below is the link to the webpage. Okay, so I've got 2 samples on here right now, just so that you can see that. This is what the back looks like. Okay, nice and loose. And then here's the back of the Loom Knit sample. All right, so let's just compare for a second before we get really started. This is a 12 stitch pattern repeat. This one you're seeing two repeats, okay? I'm not 12 stitch, I'm so sorry. This is a 12 row pattern repeat, okay? And then I gotta get more length on this yarn that's behind, next to me here. I don't know why I'm having such an issue with the yarn. Okay. So what I did is I wanted to see what that looked like. So this is a repeat here, and I worked with I worked with U-knit stitches, and then I have some slipping stitches in front of the pegs, and this is without E-wrapping that. So this is a normal U-wrap with without E-wrapping it, and it looks very similar to this, except it doesn't have as much length or height, right? Would you agree? Hit that like button if you would agree to that. But it looks really nice. Then I tried it with, let's get it closer. So see what that looks like. And then see what that looks like. Okay. Now this is 21, if I remember correctly, that's 21. And then this is 11. So I just did 11 pegs here. This one right here is where I changed it, and then I started where I'm holding the yarn in front of the peg. I E-wrapped it to give it a little more length, but I don't think the bumps are as pronounced. And I was also very loose with my U-wrap. So you might want to like do an experiment and cast on 11 like I did, just to get a good sample going and see which way you like it. So if you like them more pronounced, you may not want to E-wrap it. You may want to do that, and you just need longer length, because what we're doing this week is we're making a panel in this stitch pattern, and the width is fine, but it's the length that we need. And then I can't even talk. Sorry, I got a notification on my phone. So the width is fine, but the length is what is going to change. But you need to knit 48 inches this week. So if you like it more pronounced, then don't worry about it being a shorter stitch. I think it looks nice. Okay, so do you see how that looks? But it's like a flatter look. It's really kind of cool looking, but it does have a less pronounced look. All right, so I just wanted you to see that first of all. All right. Let me get my sample ready here. Now that I've thoroughly got everything out of whack, turning this over. Okay. Those are those samples there. Now, you can cast on in either direction. This week, when you look at the pattern, let me get this out right now. Okay. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can get it, move that aside so you can see it. So when we scroll down on the blog, scroll all the way down, that's there, it's embedded here, that's for the needles. And then this is the notes for loom knitters here. And this is clue 4. Okay, so row 1 starts with A, and then we purl and we slip with yarn in front of the peg right here. Now on the pattern, it starts row A on the wrong side for needles, and this is the only week that it does that. So if you've been paying attention so far, I have been starting my my row 1 on the right and then working my way to the left, but I had to cast on in that way. So I'm doing it a little bit different this week, and I'm working my rows just slightly different. So I've got to fix my lighting here. I'm going to set this over to the side here in a second, but let me just go over the 12 row repeat. So we'll be working with A, purl, so you can work in either direction, okay? And it's casting on 27 stitches in A, which is gray for me. Row 1 is with A, we're going to purl, and then we slip with the yarn in front of the peg. So we just hold that yarn in front of the peg, and then we purl, and then we repeat back and forth until you get to the end of the row. So every other peg is going to have 2 lines on it, going to have 2 stitches on it. Okay, it's slipped. Now, normally on needles, it's actually going to be worked, but on the on this particular pattern, we're knitting one below on the next row, and so we're treating it as a setup row, the row before, by slipping it. Otherwise, you'd have a hard time grabbing it. So we've done this before on, I think it was week 2, and what was it, week 1? Anyway, we had to set up, yeah, week 2. Okay, so then after you set up in A, you go ahead and switch to C, okay? Then you knit one and knit one below. So where you had skipped every other peg, that's where you knit one below. And then again with C, so you go one way knitting. We're going to go from right to left. Yeah, knitting across. And then the next row is the setup row, and we're going left to right, and we'll be setting it up again in the same color. And we'll be starting with purl 2 and slip with the yarn in front of the peg, and then purl 1 in every other one. So you can see, like, we skipped every other peg was a setup before, and then we start with the purl 2 to shift it over, and then it'll be every other peg. So we're shifting it every other time, and then we change colors. We changed for 3 different colors. So anyway, when I get back with color C and go back to the right, then I will add B, and then I work all those pegs that were set up, and then I set up with B and I purl once instead of twice. Okay, and then we just zigzag back and forth, and it is a 12-row repeat. But the cool advantage is on the loom, once you kind of get the pattern in your head, you actually don't need to worry about, oh, what pattern repeat am I on, because it becomes intuitive. It's actually easier on the loom to remember what you're grabbing next, and you just simply are grabbing the next yarn and rotating it out. So that's what I'm going to show you off camera here. So let me see if there's any questions before I move on. If you're just joining me, I'm sorry, I'm like a heavy breather today. I'm still not feeling well, so I'm having a little bit of trouble. Okay. All right, let me get my, I've got to get my light back up because I messed it up. So hold on a second, you guys. It is messed up and it's way in front of me. Okay. There we go. I'm so sorry. This is live. If I was recording, you wouldn't hear any of this junk. All right. I need to get my yarn settled. Okay, now a hint. You're working with 3 colors, and I'm starting in the middle of the row. But I want to say that you're going to start, see my tail is on the right here. If you want to work the way I'm working, what I did is I started my cast on. I did a double E-wrap cast on, and I put my first peg here, and then I double E-wrap cast on all the way down to 11 for my sample, but 27 is what you actually need for your actual knitting. And then I went all the way down to here, and row 1 starts here. Okay, so I've already set this up. Your cast on row gets that first edge. So you notice like every color is 2 rows. So the cast on here imitates that first part of that color. Okay, so now I'm going to go with my setup row, which is row 1. All right, so after all that, now I'm finally getting into it. But I've got my color that I'm working with on the left here. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about this just for a second so it's easier when I get to it. But my other 2 colors are right here. They are, hang on, these 2, okay? So what I've done is I've got them over on this side in the order that I need them next. So when I'm done, I'll rotate this over here, and then I'll grab the next color to be used. And that can be off the side. I know not everybody works on a table. I'm just doing it on a table because, well, that's what's happening for this tutorial here. Let me get untangled because I had to move this from the place I was working. Sorry, I'm still setting up. When I flipped it over, I got it all messed up. Okay. There we go. Okay. row 1. Let's set it up. So we're going to start with a purl. Okay. Purl 1. Zoom in. Purl 1. And now we're going to slip with the yarn in front of the peg. That's it. You're just holding it in front. And then we knit, or I'm sorry, we purl the next peg, like this. Okay. And then we skip this peg. So you're slipping with the yarn in front of the peg, and you purl this one. So it makes it real easy. You're just doing every other one. See that? So if you want to have it more elongated, you could E-wrap these pegs in between. You could do this. So if you're testing it for yourself, I suggest doing a couple of the 12 peg repeats and do that right there like that. And if you want to make it less than 11, you could try 7 for a smaller sample here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it in front just so you can see literally what it is. I know that Joanne Gay has tested hers. She did it on a Kiss Loom, and so it's going to be more like a E-wrap, because more of a U-wrap, because it's working it all through there. Okay, and then oops. Okay, that was purled, and then we hold this one. We're coming down to the last one, and then this is held in front, and then we purl. Okay, so left to right is the setup. And again, you can work in opposite direction if it's easier for you. You see how these are all just held? I didn't work them. Okay, row 2, we're going to grab our next yarn. Let's see. And we're going to do C. So let's move my A over. And then I want to grab from the bottom this one. So look here, I'm grabbing from the bottom. This is when you are changing color. But when you add the first color in, all you do is you just lay it in front like this and just work it. So, and then leave that tail. So you can see how my tails did it here. And then as I grab them from the side, like I was showing you, see how it like braids it up the side? And then this side, it looks like this over here. So it's very similar looking. See that? There's no loose ends to take care of. And then these edges are going to get taken care of later on. That's all I'll say about that. So that was a hint. All right, so now I'm going to work with C, and I'm going to knit 1, and then I'm going to knit 1 below. And all I'm doing is holding my yarn back here for a unit stitch, and I'm grabbing both stitches that were held over and knitting that over. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to. So sorry. Okay, and then we knit. And you're just knitting across, and you're grabbing those 2 yarns that were being held and knit across. That's it. It's real simple. So knit across. It's knit 1 below, knit 1, knit 1 below. Now I'm on the other side. I'll pull out some more yarn for my next row, and this is going to be a setup row. So I continue on the same one that I just did when I'm setting it up. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my pattern, and my pattern says to purl 2, because remember this one had 2 stitches here. So now I'm going to make it shift, and I'm going over to this 3rd stitch is where it's being held. So I'm going to purl 1, 2. And then I skip this first one, slip with the yarn in front of the peg, and then I purl this one. So you will notice that it's shifted from the row that you do before. So you'll get to a point where when you are knitting and you're working your way back here where you know, okay, I'm just knitting everything. Before you finish these last few pegs, take a look and notice what has been held before so you can know what to work next. Now, after you do a few rows where you've been paying attention to the pattern, then you'll start to notice, you'll start to note, I don't know, see, I just worked this one because I'm talking and not doing it. Okay, I'm gonna hold that one. Then you'll start to notice that shaping up and then how that works for you. So let's go down here. When you get down to the end, you've got 2 at the end that get purled to finish out that row. So it's 2 stitches inward, 2 stitches inward, and then it's slipped, okay? And now I'm going to drop this yarn, I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to rotate my next yarn over to the left here so that I can work it. I know I'm just working with this one, and then I kind of move my yarns down, okay? And then that way my yarns don't get all crisscrossy, right? They're not going to get all jumbled up. Okay, so now I'm going to work these stitches. I'm just going to bring this next yarn up, and if you're adding the yarn just like you did before, you're just going to leave a nice tail and hold this here and then work that first stitch. But for now, because I'm working with yarns being twisted, I'm just pulling up that next one, and it naturally causes that braid. Let's just work across, knitting all the stitches. But it reads knit 2, knit 1 below, knit 2, knit 1 below, and then all the way to the end until you have 2 left, and then you knit 2. And I'm using color B. Okay. And now I'm going to set up again, and because I had the 2 at the end, now I'm going to do how many? The 1. So we're going to purl 1 and slip that yarn in front of the peg, and then purl the next one, slip it, purl, slip it, purl, slip it, purl, and again you could E-wrap those, slip it, and purl. That's it. Now rotating again, moving it over, grab the next one. This is now back onto A, and I'm going to knit it, and knit it, 1 below, knit, knit 1 below. So if we had not held these, I would have to come back here and pick up a stitch from the back and place it on here and then do it. So we've gotten rid of all those gymnastics. So on the loom, this is an ideal pattern. So you're not having to do that. So with the setup, it's real easy. There's no struggle finding that stitch below. It's all gravy. So now I've done that. Whoops. Let me fix that. And so this one was knitting 2 stitches here. Okay, that's that knit 1 below here. So now we know, now I'm back on this other color again, because we were down here before when we started. And now I know I got to shift back over to the right. So what do? We purl 2. So purl 1, purl 2. And now we slip with the yarn in front of the peg and continue on. Remember, it's still every other peg being slipped in the main body of this. It's just shifting on the edges. So what you're doing is you're kind of making a garter stitch because every other row is knit or purl, but it doesn't really look like a garter stitch. All right, so now I'm back, and I need to go with C again, so I rotate my yarns, and I move this C over here. You can see how if you have like a bucket to your side or something, a bowl, you can just move them around and see how my yarn is not getting tangled at all. And then I just start with my C and continue. So I'm not even looking at my pattern now. And yes, I have worked this several times, but because of the way this pattern is set up, it's really intuitive. So you'll get it once you get, you know, first looking at the pattern written out, you're like, oh man, this is gonna like take me a while. And you can get yourself a row counter and you can print this off and kind of check it off and go through the first maybe 24 rows, and you can do that. But after a while, you're gonna start noticing what I was showing you. Okay, so let's flip it over. I'm gonna show you again. Okay, so again, if you're slipping with the yarn in front of the peg, just as I do without E-wrapping, it's going to look more like this. If you look at this part, this is where I had experimented making it a unit stitch. Now look again. Now I'm up here. This is where I had started today, because I did this last night with the unit stitch, and then before that I did the just holding it in front of the peg. Now you can see how it's like popping out a little bit more, and you can also like be sure and stretch out it afterwards and like pull on it, and they kind of pop out too. So I noticed that this one, when I pulled on it, it actually popped out my stitches a little bit more. See how they're more pronounced? So remember that as you get more knitting on, it's going to be more true. Or you can take it off of the pegs with the stitch holder or like a scrap piece of yarn and kind of play with it and really see. Because when the stitches are up close to the loom, you know that it pulls it really tight, and it's more obscured. It's not how it really is going to be when it's living off of the loom, because on the loom it's going to be stretched, and that's just the natural tendency with the loom. Okay, so that is what that looks like. That's really all you need to know. I don't even have to go through all 12 rows. And again, if you just joined me late, this is what the needle version looks like. I had just thrown it onto the loom. And so see how it's just kind of quite a bit poofier. Now you could use a larger gauge loom than this one just for this particular one to get it poofier. But I've been using the same loom for the majority of, well, for all the other weeks. So I'm trying to use the same loom that I have been using before. The width on it will be fine with this gauge, but if you're trying to go for something that has a little bit more poof to it, you know, such a technical term, poof, then that's what you would want to do. So I hope that helps. And let's see if we have any questions that I can answer. Excuse me. Allison said, I'm glad this is just knit and purl, but it looks confusing. I want to do this and I have the itch to do it, but it looks hard. I wonder if I can. Allison, it really isn't that hard. It may appear that way, but once you get going, Allison, I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's one of those things, it's a matter of like doing it. It's like riding a bicycle. Like until you get on and you do it for a while, it seems intimidating. It may be hard at first, but once you get going, it's just like, whoa, like, wow, what was holding me back for so long, right? So, please try it. This is 11 stitches wide, so you don't have to go to the 27 to test it out. It's like a 2 plus 5 pattern repeat. So it's like a multiple of 2 here and then 5 on the end. So like you could go with, instead of 11, you could go with like, what did I say? Did I say 7? Let's just do 11 because it works really well and you can get a nice big size. This is probably, I don't have my measuring tape with me, but there, you can, to gauge the size, you can see how big it is with my hook. So let's see if anybody else has questions. Once you get the rhythm, it's easy. Elizabeth says, yeah, the loom does look easier than the needles. Hi, Martha, this is the stitch along. Let me see if I can get the thing into frame. So we worked on this last week. This is what we worked on last week. And we were just holding some pegs. And anyway, it's this really pretty look to it. And then this week, let me see if I can flip my sample over. So this is this week. So this is what it looked like on the needles for clue number 4. And you may find, hey, I really like this for making an entire blanket out of this. So I suggest you test it out. Look at weeks 1 and 2 video and check it out on GoodKnitKisses.com. We've got all the loom pattern written out for you. All the notes for needles are above it. And then we have the video for needles. Then we have Loom, and we will put the Loom video for here on here for reference later. So this is GoodKnitKisses.com, and it's on the blog. You can click on the link below for the quick link. I think that is it for the clue. And if you're just joining me, let me flip over here. Ah, it's bright, it's bright. If you're just joining me, there is a giveaway, and we will be getting more details out this week. I'm just ironing out the rest of it, but there will be 3 winners in North America. You have to reside in North America. You have to be of legal age. You will be getting it'll be a knitter, needle, or a loom. Okay. You have to be able to be making your project. You'll take a picture of the project. You'll find out more about that later. And we'll give you several weeks to work on your projects and to get that entry in. And then you will earn enough yarn to make a whole other blanket or make other things. Be perfect for a gift, or if you made this one for a gift, and then if you like it, you could make it again for yourself. So anyway, so there is the link again for clue number 4. And, oh, thanks, Liz. She says another awesome video. I am so excited. If you had joined me before and you saw some of the things going on, you saw some brioche being shown. I have some brioche back there. We did it on needles and on the looms. I have a video for that. We have also this right here. This is the Step It Up knit shawl, which has that sort of hitchhiker look. It's a boomerang or crescent shawl. That is on needles. I'm going to work on a loom one for you guys. And I also have mittens. That is coming out, and you'll be able to see that. I'm excited to show you. And what else? What else? I made this for my son. This is for my son and my daughter. I'm actually, Joanne doesn't, I don't even think Joanne knows this. I'm going to show y'all something I'm working on right now, which may take me a little longer. I'm getting in my bag. This is not a secret. It's a secret, but not a secret. Isn't this fun? So I made this for my daughter, little fingerless mitt. And based on the mitt pattern, instead of like doing individual fingers, we did, this might be a little tight on me because it's made for her. So we just made it open. Yeah? Isn't that nice? And then it's got a little detail on it. So I'm trying to fix the detail. I kind of messed it up on the side. So, hey, I mess up too. So this is on needles. Yeah. Oh, we like it. Everybody's giving me some love. This was this weekend. She and I work at church on, she works on camera and I work in the back, and I do shading, which is controlling the irises on like 3 different cameras. And she does a camera thing, and it gets really, really cold. And I have fingerless mitts for myself, and she can't find the ones I made for her out of Cascade yarn. I know. But it was when she had smaller hands. Anyway, so I made her this, and so I got to make her another one to keep her nice and toasty. So good. Oh, beautiful. Yes. This is from, if you want to know what this yarn is, oh my goodness, I have really enjoyed using it. It's, and the label is going to be backwards, but this is the new Karen Simply Soft tweeds. So it has these really pretty little tweed in it. Isn't that nice? And then I just use the white version, or the cream version. So this is color Gray Heather. And then the other one is Off-White. That one. So I'm working on the needle version right now. Anyway, it feels really nice. I really like how it works up. But like, anyway, it's really enjoyable. It's 97% acrylic and 3% viscose, which gives it that little bit of a slick kind of look to it. But with the tweed and stuff, it has this nice hand. I like the little nubbiness of it. So if you haven't checked out this yarn, I suggest you do. It's in like real basic colors. I think it's like these are all the tweed colors on it. There's the brown, and then the gray, and then the off-white. And then, of course, it coordinates. They have whites and grays without the flex that coordinate in their Simply Soft line, but these are the tweeds. So, Liz says, yes, it does. It's so easy to work with. So you've worked with it too? Yeah, really, really nice. And I love how it turns out. I mean, I love tweeds. They just make you feel good. You know, like feel good foods, like comfort foods. This is like comfort yarn. Oh, I got to fix my, there's my boo-boo just sticking out my hair. That was my little boo-boo. What did I do there? I'll have to go check that out. Excuse me. Cracking myself up. Oh, gosh. That's what happens when you're not feeling well and you get on camera and you start hacking up a lung. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys joined me today. Thanks for letting me show all that to you. There are videos this Friday. I might have one midweek come out. Who knows? Lots of stuff coming out. Just keep in touch and keep notified. If you want to know when stuff comes out, you got to hit those notifications on YouTube. Go click on subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can select to get emails. So that way it just comes right out and you don't have to wait for a newsletter or anything because it'll just come to you. And for Facebook, when you click on like on my page, you can click on follow. And the pages that I really like or people, I'll click see first. And so it jumps up in the top of my feed. And then also you can like get notifications when they go live. So I do that for my favorite pages too. So that's just a little trick if you don't know that. And that's pretty much it. Denise says, I love all your projects. Just got to find time to do. Yeah. And I mean, I don't expect everybody to do everything unless you're able to do that, which is awesome. But I love when you guys share them. So if you share to our page, and that's what I'm going to need you to do for this contest. So you can say, whenever you go to GoodKnitKisses Facebook page, you can click on see visitor posts, and you can post from there or post on the main page, and it'll go to that visitor post area and post your projects and, tag me in it. Just hit that @ symbol and start typing GoodKnitKisses, and you should be able to, I'll be able to see it. It'll give me a notification. It's actually better than just posting the page. If you can actually hit @ and then type GoodKnitKisses, that's a little trick. And then I see it easier. There's so many notifications that go off all the time. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, Susan, oh, someone's saying congratulations. What happened? I missed something. Okay. You'll be holding a 3-day-old in a few hours. Oh, Susan, that's awesome. Oh, Lauren, I'm holding almost 8-month-old. That's awesome. Man, little babies. Oh, and someone's got a 7-month-old. You guys are awesome. Okay, I love the chats here. This is so cute. Oh, that's great. Oh, by the way, where is it? Kristen? Oh, the bracelets. We started having bracelets come in. So for the GoodKnitKisses Pink Missions, the last thing I'll say, I got 40 bracelets in for the missions trip. So if anybody has any more to send, let me know. Next week, I'll be giving them to Brandy, and she'll be taking them on the trip later on this month. So if you still have some to send, be sure and send them. If you'll drop me a note in the GoodKnitKisses mail, the messages here, and just say, hey, Kristen, I'm sending you the bracelets, or something for Embrace Grace. If you want to do Embrace Grace, that's fine too. Whatever you guys want to do. So yeah, these work out great because you can just cram a bunch in an envelope. I mean, of course, the postage goes up a little bit, but it's not like sending a box. So that's good. So I love the friendship bracelet thing because you can get several out of one ball. Like if you take 2 balls of cotton yarn, you can get a ton of these. So therefore a mission trip, and there's a video on that telling more about it on YouTube. So anyway, all right, you guys have a great day. It's Columbus Day. Happy Columbus Day to the Americans. Happy Thanksgiving to the Canadians. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. Happy knitting and crochet. Bye, everyone.